The Brothers Wisp. The Brothers Wisp, Brothers Wisp. The Brothers Wisp. The Brothers.
You're now listening to Greg. It's
Hey,
the Brothers
everybody.
Wisp. Let's take
It's
a ride
Greg
through space.
and a whole room full of people. We've got
Todd Featherman.
David Atias. Justin Miller.
Nobody cool. Nick.
Anthony Maglieri.
Adam Geiger.
Tommy Crogan.
Lucas Duchamp.
Lucas D to bring it up the end. There might be a couple people that pop in here in a second. So we're at the MUM 2019 Austin. Today's Thursday. Here comes Thomas.
There's Tom.
Hello.
There he is. So hardware announcements this morning. You guys were overwhelmed by the plethora of new things announced, right?
Blown away.
Yeah.
Or the cornucopia.
Can you believe version 7 live?
Yeah. That was actually,
It's gonna be crazy.
believe it or not, yeah. So
That's how they fix IPv6.
I got to be a hand model, so.
yeah, ironically enough, we got to see some version 7 this morning. You guys saw the video, right?
Yeah.
Because we posted it in the channel. For all of the patrons got to see it before everybody else on the internet did, which was really interesting. So we can't tell you who showed us, you know, it doesn't matter, it's immaterial.
It leaked.
Yeah.
It was on a flash drive on the floor.
Oh, there you go, yeah.
Just found a laptop.
It was actually in the bathroom.
With Millie.
The flash drive was right on the urinal.
They got the carpet in the background. That was the dead giveaway.
They gave us some tap AC lights. What y'all don't know is if you boot it up.
It's version 6.
That'd be crazy.
That was the surprise.
Check under your chairs, everybody.
You get a V7. You get a V7.
But that was pretty. It was pretty bananas. So the other day, in the IPv6 exploit thing, somebody asked about BGP on that forum thread, and then Mike said, "Don't use CCRs for BGP," which I thought was hilarious. And then we saw that demo, and it was a 1016, and it took those routes like a champ. It was, yeah, it was insane. So
Compared to the 4011?
it was 6 peers, 350,000 routes each, right?
No, it was 587,000.
Oh, 587? I'm sorry, 587,000 each. Miller then killed the peers, so they all refreshed, and then you saw 6 individual cores go to 100%. So each BGP peer that's added gets its own core whenever it's first pulling in routes, or I guess anytime it's doing any kind of major convergence of some sort or whatever.
Cool.
So it maxes out at 100%, and I was asking, well, how does it know when it's done processing? Apparently it looks for when the routes pretty much stop coming in for a certain amount of time, and then it will,
Converge it all together.
yeah, so then one CPU goes to 100 while it actually, does the calculations. So it's calculating best path and all that stuff. And then a bunch of the cores go hot when it's actually installing all the routes
the
into
cores
the
go
grid.
hot to install it in the kernel, so
Yeah.
that happens real fast.
And all of it was less than 3 minutes. And when it was all said and done, it had 3.5 million routes in the table.
Yeah, 870 megs of RAM for that,
Yeah.
which ends up being about 145 megs per table.
And
per
the way we were killing the process, it wasn't exactly the right way or clean way, so that actually may have been inflated a bit.
Yeah.
So that was interesting.
Still probably sounds like slower than a 4011 though.
Unless you have more than 4 peers.
Well, it's still 6 peers. It sounds like would fit in 1 gig of RAM.
Yes, but with the 4 peers,
cores, yeah.
if you
You have 4 cores.
yeah,
6
you're
peers,
4
1 per core, right?
Yeah.
But the cores are faster on the 4011. But yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah, so you know there's probably around the 5 to 7 range number of peers depending on how many each.
That's what I
It's
asked. I
advertising.
said, so you would actually be able to use the 4011s for big BGP tables? And the answer was yes.
You know what I'm curious about? What's going to happen when other vendors find out about this? Are they going to try to implement the same thing on their hardware? Or are they just going to, are they finally, first of all, going to take MikroTik as a serious competitor? Because this really gives MikroTik an edge over like, you know, Junipers or even Cisco.
Yeah, if it's for that one job.
Yeah.
It's cheap enough to be like, well, there's my BGP router.
Well, this was the one thing that was holding people back from using MikroTik in like, you know, real ISP environments.
This is the number one thing people would mention. Well, BGP's slow.
Yeah.
Let's be honest, Cisco's going to wipe away their tears with their government money.
It's true.
Yeah, crocodile tears. From what I understand, people have made offers before to MikroTik and they weren't interested. So
I asked Arnis back in the Florida Mum. When was that? 2015.
I don't know. You were super drunk.
Hey. We don't mention certain things.
Because you can't remember.
We don't mention certain things.
That's Vegas.
So anyway, so what ended up happening is I asked Arnis, I said, what's going to happen when Cisco comes over and wants to buy you out? And he said, well, we're not interested in money, which is pretty amazing. I don't know how much I believe it, but thus far...
Well, they're not American.
Well, yeah, that's true.
We've also
That's true.
donated to charity too a lot.
Oh, that's awesome. Man, maybe we can get their staff to soften up a little bit.
They have.
No, they are.
Believe
They
it or
are.
not.
Giannis has been so nice to me today and yesterday. I was actually really pleasantly surprised. But anyway, we're going off on a tangent.
Maybe you're just hypersensitive right now.
He scares the shit out of me, but
Does he?
he was very nice.
So because you guys actually saw version 7, it's no longer officially vaporware now?
There's a version in the, not in the wild, but there's a version running somewhere.
Somewhere.
Yeah.
Unless you see version
Well, then
7, it's still
was it-
vaporware.
Yeah. Well, from what I understand, there's still chunks missing. You know, from that aren't implemented. It made it seem like this was the core of what they were trying to do, was to get this done first. And
Everyone was really concerned about BGP performance on CCR. And that
imagine
was,
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
People have been screaming about it. So
Make sure it was dead on. So
Yeah.
Actually, this is great news because you can't say that version 7 is the unicorn anymore. And actually, in my
we never
presentation-
said that.
Oh,
No.
they have shirts
No.
that have that. Come on.
I'm pretty sure we have in the Slack group a unicorn version 7.
Allegedly.
I've seen T-shirts.
Yeah.
Router OS. It's like a unicorn with a rainbow.
No, they just said the release date was the unicorn.
Oh,
No, we knew.
All right, I'm just telling you what I see on T-shirt. Because now I get to say that HTB is the unicorn. I'll explain tomorrow.
There's also a couple other things I noticed where they said that, because our BGP tables have constant churn, not a lot, but like the routes will change just a little bit over time. And they said it's triggered, right? It'll trigger the event and it will recompute, but since it's such a small amount of information change, it does it very quickly. The 3 minutes was loading all of those simultaneously and then computing them.
Let me ask you, how long would it have taken if it was done on a single core? Would it have taken 6 times?
Oh, like a single core device?
Yeah.
Or only run on one core.
Yeah, all of that.
Didn't
But,
Mike
but
do
how long
that
would it
already?
take? It would take
It's been
6
benchmarked.
times. It would be 6 times the amount of time.
At least.
Yeah.
I don't know. It may be
Oh.
even exponentially longer.
Probably
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's that one part that
Those
flows
channels.
across all cores.
Yeah. I was just wondering
Well-
if there was.
Yeah, when it installs at the end, right? That would be the big bottleneck.
Well, just when it's loading too.
At the
Because
last
instead of being able to load all those in parallel in individual cores, now it has to do all of that on a single CPU, if there is only one.
At the last Wispapalooza, I know that Hammett did a test on loading a BGP table into a 4011. What was that time like, and how many records?
I just did it earlier this week. It was 700,000 routes in 43 seconds.
Wow.
Into a 4011.
4011.
Yeah, that's just on a single core.
Yeah, they're good.
Well,
But again, that's
yeah.
one peer.
Yeah.
Well, I had two. I already had one peer on there, so it was
Okay.
one
You
by
had a
second.
peer, yeah.
Second peer is 43 seconds. So that's why I still think the 4011 is probably going to be faster
Yeah.
until you're memory limited, because you're going to run out of 1 gig, and even if it fits in 1 gig, I'm still worried that a year from now the internet grows and I'm out of 1 gig, right?
Great. I think we have to stick a fork in it.
Are we good? All right. All right. Well, any other closing thoughts on the day?
I'm not a big fan of the mesh system for WISPs. That's not really friendly.
Once they implement VLANs, of course, BGP's going to break.
That's why you're supposed to use 60 gigahertz, dude.
Yeah, or
Until they implement 60
or
gigahertz.
CDRS 3.65.
Yeah, screw that shit.
Well, thank you guys for joining us for the impromptu quickie wrap up of day 1. All the normal stuff. Hit us at Facebook.com/BrothersWisp, Patreon.com/BrothersWisp. Join Slack. Contact us at TheBrothersWisp.
Plug the sponsor.
Yeah, we gotta get out of the room.
Says the sponsor. Say the sponsor.
You say it much sexier.
Jeez. Pennytone.com is our sponsor. He's doing the $10 a month per line deal. Terms and conditions apply. Check out the site, pennytone.com. Thanks, guys. Bye.
We got horrible jokes, we're loud and annoying, but we're informative facts, we're not disappointing. Just give us a listen, cause fun is the mission. I'm telling you, you don't know what you are missing. Ideas and some good comedy given. If you missed the show already, don't worry, you're forgiven.